Hello and welcome to Pearl Magazine. The high property prices in Hong Kong mean many people tend to live in a small place compared to residents in other countries. Knowing how to keep your things organized in a small space can make all the difference in how a place feels. For those with a talent at organizing, a new profession has emerged. Gabby Zhu talks to professional organizers to find out more about the job and whether it's a good career.
I've been living here for 5 years. I had a roommate, then I started taking care of this place myself. I watched some videos and some bloggers talking about professional organizing, so I could learn how to organize my own place.
Hello， 你好啊！我今日上嚟係幫你做整理㗎。
好，歡迎歡迎，我叫欣欣。
我叫阿 K 啊，咁呢個係我個助手啊 Mayling。
Hello Mayling，歡迎歡迎。
Sinsin is hiring a professional organizer to take care of her 320-square-foot unit, getting her clothes and belongings organized. She found out about the service while searching for information about cleaning up. But Sinsin said many organizers tend to charge an arm and a leg.
For the working class, $600 an hour is quite expensive. For an ordinary employee, I think they can afford $100 to $200, but $600 is a bit too much.
But during the process, Sinsin also learned a trick or two, so she can handle her own cleaning up in the future.
I've noticed this container is not ideal. That's why you find it hard to get your clothes.
This price level comes with certain knowledge, unlike hiring cleaning ladies to clean up. If they have a certificate achieving a different service level, I would consider paying for it.
Professional organizers first emerged in the U.S. many years ago. Such services then became popular in Japan and South Korea. According to a 2021 industry report, there were 18,000 professional organizers in mainland China. But in Hong Kong, there is no more than 10 working in the industry. Kay Lee is one of them.
When I first started, I didn't think it could become a profession. By attending courses, I learned there's professional demand in other countries and regions. I also saw in Hong Kong there were success cases, so I decided to give this a try.
Kay used to create shop displays. After quitting her job, Kay went to study relevant courses in mainland China and Taiwan, and eventually got her certificate from Japan, becoming a professional organizer.
If you say there's a risk, the biggest one is when I first started. At the start of the pandemic, our business was affected, but in terms of income, it was never going to be stable anyway. There's fluctuation. Sometimes it's quite good, but there may not be much in a whole month.
Despite the unsteady income, Kay says she's motivated because the more she works, the higher the income. At the moment, average fees range from $300 to $800 an hour. But she had one job that made her $30,000 in just 3 days.
This one biggest job was a 1,000-square-foot kitchen and storage room. It took 4 team members 3 days to finish the work.
While some clients are in luxury homes, many are actually in public rental units and even subdivided flats.
We had come across one smaller case in a 100-square-foot subdivided flat. It took me 5 hours on my own. We have a wide array of clients, not necessarily middle-class people or luxury and large homes, but also public rental units and subdivided flats. They all have demand.
For now, Kay's main income stream is from teaching classes and organizing based on a Japanese curriculum. They make up 60 to 70% of her income.
So far, I've had 400 plus students. Some are in school, also housewives, general employees, social workers, even professionals, quite a wide spectrum.
Mi Ling is one of her students. She first came across the profession in 2020. Then she spent $9,000 to finish the beginner and intermediate courses in 3 days.
I'm already a housework assistant. It is correct for me to learn and understand better. I'm also interested.
Mi Ling still hasn't considered joining the profession full-time. But she says as the entry level is low and hours flexible, it's good for part-timers.
I think different professional organizers have their own background, but it doesn't mean that they can't be a professional organizer. Actually, they can combine their background with the organizing skills to develop their distinct or special direction of the career development. And professional organizers, I think we need to be non-judgmental when communicating with the client so that we could understand their points of view, understand their needs, and so as to think of a plan that is tailor-made for them. So we could provide a more in-depth service for the clients.
The association was founded in 2021. As of the end of September this year, it has 80 members, 36 of them with professional certificates.
Our association trained about 32 professional organizers, but not all of them will join the industry. If they join, most of them work as part-time. For full-time professional organizers, maybe less than 10 in Hong Kong.
One academic says the service is now popular in North America, Japan, South Korea, and even mainland China. For Hong Kong, there is still some room for development.
In recent years, there are many TV programs promoting such experience sharings on the catering business, and also because of the small living area in Hong Kong, there's a need to tidy up the space with professional knowledge. And also, the credit spending market in Hong Kong is quite mature.
Because the service is still quite new in Hong Kong, those offering it cannot charge a high fee.
Hong Kong people are quite concerned about cost effectiveness, and if we say that the cutter asks for $500 per hour, many people they cannot earn such an hourly rate. So unless the cutter provides a value-added service, such as how to relieve the stress and how to make advice on the disposal, on recycling, on keeping the items or the throwing away the items. They can do it themselves, but if the cutter can provide value-added service, why the client is willing to pay several $100 per hour, or even $1,000 or $2,000 per hour, because the professional people, they have some sort of experience, information differential.
He says as the economy is weak at the moment, paying for a professional organizer's services may be considered a luxury expense among many households. And because the profession's entry level is not high, those hoping to join may have to bear with a relatively low income in the short term. When we come back, being alone doesn't mean you're lonely. In fact, it could mean business opportunities for some. Stay with us. Welcome back to Parole Magazine. Single-person households are the fastest-growing household group globally. Because of this, consumption patterns are changing. Many businesses see this solo economy as a lucrative market and are catering to the increasing demands of this growing demographic. In Japan, solo ramen booths, restaurants, and karaoke rooms for singles are popping up across big cities. In South Korea, some cinemas offer solo booths for singles. Here in Hong Kong, a few businesses are now catering to singles, but does the solo economy really work well in this city?
In Japan, we are expanding. We have planned to open a new store in Shizuoka. And in Hong Kong, we keep looking at opinion from customers, and we will consider open a new shop depending on the market condition.
失礼いたします。お待たせいたしました。ごゆっくりどうぞ。失礼いたします。
This ramen restaurant chain began in Japan. It's been offering ramen booths for singles since the 80s. In 2011, Japanese economist Kenichi Ome explained that the rise of the solo economy came about because of the aging population, which created single households. People living alone tend to have greater demand for digital entertainment. This ramen restaurant has more than 70 outlets across Japan. Now, it also has 2 outlets in Hong Kong with over 8,300 members.
Our special ramen focus booth is the concept of our founder, Mr. Yoshitomi. It's because he wants to provide an environment that customer can enjoy the ramen in a relaxed mood. And customer can actually enjoy the genuine flavor of the ramen without being bothered by the surrounding environment.
But Debbie Chan says singles are not the main customers in Hong Kong's business.
Most of our customers are in their 20s to 40s. About 40% come with their friends, and 40% comes with their families, and around 20% come on their own.
Chan says the culture in Hong Kong is different from Japan. She says customers in Japan tend to dine solo, while Hong Kongers prefer to enjoy food with friends and family. In 2018, Timmy Chan set up this hot pot restaurant with his friends. He's targeting the singles market. He says the setup cost is relatively high because each customer has his own hot pot.
We started with this idea back in 2018, and we wanted to implement this solo hot pot or steam pot ideas because Hong Kong didn't have too many competitors. I think our business model can give the clients or customers more flexibility. So if we are to have dinner with a party of 6, some of you might want to eat crabs, some might want to eat lobsters. Collectively, you still need to order both dishes, and some may go to waste. But if you can order your menu per person, that may give them more variety to choose from.
Initially, Timmy hoped solo dining hours would be shorter and table turnover rate would be higher. However, the business was not as good as he expected because single customers also take time while dining, which means the table turnover rate is not high.
We worry that we won't be able to make any profit. So due to the limitation on seating capacity, we could fit about 50 people per round. The curtains add to the flexibility for and catering different parties of customers. When they come alone, we could let the drape down, and if they have a party of 4 to 6, we can raise them up and they could enjoy a meal together.
Timmy adjusted the strategy because he hasn't managed to cover the setup cost after 4 years in business. He also raised the price to $380 a head to increase revenue. Timmy says solo dining only accounts for 10 to 20% of business, and majority of solo diners are male.
I think on average, per customer would spend about $200. You would see, whenever you go out to restaurants, you would see people just having dinner or lunch by themselves and looking at their phone. I think it's mainly on the trend that people are starting to enjoy meals by themselves.
This academic says the solo economy in Hong Kong is not as popular as in Japan because of the cultural differences.
If you compare Chinese cuisine with Japanese cuisine is an independent cuisine for each individual. So even if you like having a lunch with your friends, you are still eating your own dishes. But Chinese cuisine, usually we have different dishes and we share with each other. So it's difficult to make a Chinese dish which is suitable for a single woman. So it's quite difficult. Like in Hong Kong, we will develop a solo economy like that is developing in Japan.
He says the average number of household members in Hong Kong is slightly more than in Japan. On top of that, the environment in Hong Kong doesn't help the development of a solo economy.
If you look at Japan, the Japanese average house number in the 70s, in the 80s, is about 3.4 something. But today, it's still dropping. It's 2.27, 2.2, around 2.2. For Hong Kong, we start with about 3.9 or 4 in the 80s. Today, our average household size is 2.7. In China, it's also about 2.6 or 2.7. But in Hong Kong, in China, this number has been stabilized. The number didn't further drop. So we didn't see a trend that a single economy will rise in Hong Kong. But in Japan, the number is low, and this number keep dropping. So, and people in Japan, they don't like to share table with others.
He also says scarcity of land in Hong Kong and high property prices make it difficult for the business sector to create more space to develop a solo economy.
Hong Kong is one of the most expensive places in the world. So unless, if you, for example, if you're a restaurant, you set up a box just cater for a single woman or man, but this box is quite spacious. I mean, you can use this space to serve 2 or 3 customers, or you can use it to serve this single lady or man. But unless the lady or man can actually pay double or pay triple, otherwise the shops does not have any incentive to use the space like this way.
However, limited space, high population, and high land prices are the reasons Sam Tang set up a solo reading space.
Back to 2 or 3 years ago when I was studying the accounting exams, I found that I was very hard to focus at home. So I want to have a very comfy place that allowed me to rest while I was tired. Grade A building would be very good for me, and because usually the ceiling to floor distance is very longer, and that's why because with such a high ceiling, I feel less stressful.
Sam rented a unit in a commercial building with a monthly rental of $30,000. He charges his clients $60 for 2 hours during weekdays and around $80 for 2 hours at weekends. Clients can purchase a 5-day whole-day pass at just over $100. Sam also offers a 7-day whole-day pass at a higher price.
They are usually high school students, they're doing their exam, public examination, and also some university students, and sometimes some working professional, they're handling their professional exams, while some people, they love drawing, they're artists, they love drawing, so they come to here to do their drawings.
This solo study room started during the worst period of the COVID-19 pandemic. Sam worried whether his business would survive, so he made changes to the business model.
We allowed the customers to do their self-check-in so that we employ less staff during our hours. And we also try to explore different opportunities while we can best leverage the use of this space. For instance, during the slack hours or slack seasons, we also lease our venue for other people to do their workshops, some press release events here, or some group discussions here, because this place is large, so that we can, through this, best utilize this place to stabilize our revenue per month.
That's our show for this week. Join us on Pearl Magazine, same time next week. Bye for now.